Welcome back, everybody, to Rain on Your Parade with J.O. Cauvin. I am J.O. Cauvin here, as always, with producer Mike. Hello, producer Mike.
Hi, everybody. Hi, JL. How you doing? How was your week?
Week has been not bad. I'm just getting more and more tired every day that goes by. Just one more step to the grave. Frank, speaking of tired, Frank is not even going to pretend to be on this week's episode. He is tuckered out from
overnight daycare.
Mike, in the words of Daniel Plainview in There Will Be Blood, abandoned my child.
I've abandoned my boy.
He left his dog in doggy daycare for the night.
Yeah, I had an overnight recording
a hot
shoot.
Podcast you had to bang in Connecticut.
I had to go do a shoot in another state, and Frankie unfortunately was not able to make an appearance, so he had to get boarded overnight.
And now he barely had the energy to hump my leg 3 times,
which is surprising because we usually have to really restrain him.
Me.
Yeah.
And then Cookie smells him and goes, "Who's that? You been fucking other dogs?"
Yep.
And I say, "No, Cookie. And could you not phrase it that way? Because I'm not fucking you either.
Right.
You're just my friend." So that's how rumors get started, Mike. Like your dog.
I know.
All of a sudden, dogs at the dog park are growling at me, and I'm like, "Cookie, like fucking with you." Is not fucking you. That with is the key there. Cookie.
Classic bro shit.
God. Anyway, we're gonna talk. You know what the topic is today. I did want to talk. I was just to the diehards, which is really all we have. There's the diehards. Then there's those people who like this episode because it's Charlie Kirk. The algorithm, even though I actually like doing these episodes a little later. When a little bit has died down, it's not what the algorithm wants, but it allows for a little more sober, thoughtful conversation rather than the hot take of me saying, to quote Samuel L. Jackson from A Time to Kill, "Yes, I'm glad he died, and I hope he burns in hell." Those were the hot takes. I don't want to give. I want to be more McConaughey at the end of A Time to Kill. Sweaty and Southern.
Yeah. And hot.
Yeah. He was hot. Sandra Bullock was hot in that movie.
Everybody's hot.
There's really something about good-looking people sweating a little bit that's extremely hot.
Like Paul Newman in The Long Hot Summer.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, well, I'm just telling you.
Yeah, speaking of Paul Newman.
Yeah.
His other half, Joanne Woodward.
Yeah.
No, Robert Redford is what I was going for.
Yeah. Rest in peace. I was like, what happened to Joanne Woodward?
An acting and handsomeness icon.
Absolutely. Without question. Director, too. Directing icon.
No, I know. Hollywood icon. Let's
Hollywood
icon, handsomeness icon.
Yes.
Got a little leathery in the later years, but you can't hold up forever unless you're Brad Pitt.
Right.
Like I think Brad Pitt's going to be 80 at the Oscars and still look about 58.
Yeah.
But yeah, R.I.P. Robert Redford. It's strange because people I don't think will appreciate what we're losing. And we're going to talk. Art is always a topic here.
Yes.
But what we're losing. When Leonardo DiCaprio, maybe Chalamet, but not really. When Leonardo DiCaprio passes away, assuming he goes after Tom Cruise, in chronological order, not sure how many movie stars we'll have. Now, every kid uses the word icon if they take a good shit. Yeah. They go iconic.
Right.
But Robert Redford is in that iconic sort of stratosphere. Yes. Tom Cruise, obviously. DiCaprio, I think, yes.
Yes, with no question.
Chalamet, I don't think it may not even be possible for him to achieve the sort of celebrity box office like combo. The kind of like, is he going to be a superstar or is he going to be like a very well-respected actor? With a couple of hits. Like Dune is not really selling because he's in it. He helps it.
Right.
But it's not like, the Chalamet movie Dune. No, Dune's the movie.
Well, it's like how the Will Smith test. It's like, can you open the movie and like, are you a bankable enough name where you put Will Smith on the poster?
Yeah.
And it's Men in Black, or it's like something huge. And I don't really know who passes that test these days.
And it's not even actors' faults necessarily.
No, it's not.
That's what we've done. We've done that to art. Art people are now cogs in the machinery of tech IP and algorithms.
Yep.
And so it's going to be very weird when this happens, when we get to that point.
Yes.
They won't know, though, that it's weird because they'll be fucking their sex robots in their panic room with their content chip in their brain telling them that everything's okay.
Right.
And not to go outside because the air is poisonous. But I want to make this about me, obviously. So before we get to our kind of, I wouldn't call it, it's like our power feature. We have a headliner, Charlie Kirk.
Yeah.
But the comedy story is like going to get.
Are you front ending this, or are you putting this at the back end?
There's still normal comedy talk at the end. You just might like this comedy talk up front better because it's more newsy.
It is, yeah.
But what I was going to say first is our podcast, my podcast, but I say our, I'm a team player. Yeah, sure. And I mean, by our, I mean me and Frankie.
Yes. Of course.
Mike gave me 2 great clips last week, which raised our average clips per week to 1.3 a week. A little short of where Vegas wanted us at the beginning of the season, but we're getting there.
It feels like that's a little low, but okay.
It's probably like 1.4. It is not yet 1.5 clips per week.
Yes, it is. No, it's 1.5.
You've given me 2 once, 2 twice. You've given me 2 twice, and you've gotten me 1 every other time. And this is like our 7th episode, I believe. It's okay. This is
all right.
This is how bands break up. This is off my.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding. But
all right.
Anyway, the 2 clips you gave me, and I hope this continues, were great.
Broke the internet.
Yeah. On Facebook, where they did the most damage, although they did well in other places, on Facebook they combined for over 300,000 views and 600, 700 shares and almost 1,000 followers on Facebook, and people are like, love this take. You're sharing it as a real endorsement. You don't have to share that shit.
Yeah, definitely.
So I said to Mike, YouTube saw a little uptick. Did the audio go up at all? Mike sees those stats. And I said, just a little bit, just something. Because I don't have 100,000 listens. So if I get an extra 100 listens, it is measurable. Nothing.
Yeah.
None.
Might have even gone down.
No extra. Let's just be optimistic. 0 new listeners.
Yeah, definitely 0 new listeners.
0 new listeners. I want you guys to laugh at my pain, but I need you to understand when I speak in existential terms about the end of art and what the hell am I doing.
Yeah.
We crush it on last week's podcast. We get algorithmic and fan help in promoting some good clips that are really letting you know, dive in for more.
Yeah.
Not a particularly long episode for me. It was like a 45-minute episode. So
actually more digestible than many.
Yeah.
You'd have to say, that's not a knock on you, but I'm just saying,
of course that was a knock.
No, I just mean attention span has obviously we're hitting peak fucking idiot attention span.
Well, that's why me and Mike are going to produce a new podcast called Farts. It's going to be no more than 48 seconds a week.
Very easy to listen to on your commute.
And you'll know somebody's listening to it on their commute when you see them laugh for about 10 seconds and then stop.
Yeah. Right.
So that's just an update on how well the show, even when the show has a great week, it made no difference.
Yeah. We should rename the show to Plateau on Your Parade.
Hey, and it sounds French too.
It does, yeah. Plateau on your parade.
Plateau on your parade. Jean-Louis Cauvin here with Farts. Gustarang. Good one. 5 stars. Smash that subscribe button if you like farts. So yeah, that's that. So before we get to our B topic today. Big shows coming up. Now, obviously, I'm not preaching to any new fans, so I apologize for repeating myself. I thought maybe this week we'd get a little extra. This Friday, Morristown, New Jersey. If you're a Jersey person, come to Morristown, New Jersey. I'll be at the Mayo Performing Arts Center. In October, 2 big shows in Washington, D.C., October 4th. Huge show in Pennsylvania. Why did I say Pennsylvania? Philadelphia. Let's be more specific. On October 22nd at the Punchline. November, I'm in Huntington, New York. Nice venue in Long Island. Getting a nice paycheck for that, so it should be a good show. December, Toronto, people. The 18th to the 20th. and then Charlotte, North Carolina, the 28th of December. And there will be some more Jersey shows. I am putting together some local Jersey shows. I don't know how many Jersey people listen to this, but the Jersey shows are, important when I post those. So just there. Please leave a review on this podcast. I don't look at Spotify, but I do know I haven't gotten a new review in quite some time, or I've gotten one review in like 2 months on Apple. So please leave a review. I wish I could say it'll help the algorithm. I think it'll just make me feel better.
Yeah.
That's really it. Just to know somebody new is checking in, or somebody old is like remembering to do their part. But we're in end times, folks, for art and creativity.
That's right.
We are.
Yeah.
I mean, we really are. Like it's unfortunate.
We're making like Nickelodeons at a time when feature films with sound are making it to theaters. That's how I kind of feel about what we're doing sometimes, because it just feels like we are. I don't know if it's attention span or like the new generation has enough juice at this point that they're just kind of like gutting what was normal to us, which was hour to an hour and a half long podcasts where people talk about things, and it's very bizarre, I would say, as the word to describe it.
Yeah, and all I see on Facebook, every other clip is from some deeply annoying porn star podcast.
Yeah, well, you've mentioned that's your algorithm at this point.
Like,
and the second you click one just to say, I'll see this woman talk about, whatever she's going to talk about, and then you get caught in the loop.
I think she's going to talk about dick size.
Yeah, right.
Or the time she fucked Chris Brown.
Yeah, right.
That's 80% of the clips. And then it'll be it's like some filthy story. But what's funny is whenever I do a search on Instagram, because I don't search for many things, it's the algorithms are really, and I'm this will sound like a confession. It's not. The algorithms really think so little of us. When I click on search, I'm looking up somebody. My Instagram has kind of blown up, mostly with like middle-aged liberals who like my videos. It's not like I'm pulling from just the world and I'm growing this humongous audience. Every time I go to search somebody, the first like 40 accounts that pop up are women with huge fake tits. Mm-hmm. And I'm sorry for being crude, but it's like, I'm just like, okay, like this isn't what I'm searching. Like, I don't like, why are you defaulting to, is it like, do I give off lonely, angry man?
Have you ever seen there's a porn podcast that is basically just like, they started off as a podcast and then it just ends, like it just becomes the porn stars like fucking, and there's video of it.
Is
and
that the Adam 22?
That one, that's a different one. But I guess that one's kind of like that also. But there are just shows now where it's just like, it's just porno, but they like dress it up like it's a podcast.
We're getting so much closer to idiocracy than I thought.
It's fucking nuts.
And I don't mean that in the flippant way. I mean real specific.
Yeah.
Like really specific shit. And, so then the irony is like, so then I just started looking up like sports stuff, like because I was like, I don't know why this is happening. Because I open it, it's like, oh, do you not see that I post lots of things and do stuff? Like, why do I have like generic scumbag search, like recommendations? And then now it's recommending to me a lot of sports stuff and some comedy. Yeah. And I got to admit, I miss all the pictures of the women with the big fake tits. So I guess it knew me better than I thought.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of scumbags with no integrity, I wanted to talk a little bit about something called the Saudi Comedy Festival.
Yeah.
Didn't get an offer, so at least they are consistent with the American comedy industry as well. So they do share some similarities.
Right.
But, and I know we're at this point now where how long are you going to beat up the Saudis?
Are you asking me or is this rhetorical?
Rhetorical. How long are you going to, They've never paid for 9/11. They paid no consequences for the butchering of Jamal Khashoggi.
Yeah.
Some journalist was just murdered like 3 months ago.
Oh, another one?
Yeah,
Oh,
look it up
boy.
in June, I think. Probably when they announced the comics. He might have been murdered at the announcement just to show what soulless creatures they were.
Yeah, right.
You know, it's like, here's your contract for $500,000. But you have to watch us murder this journalist just so we know you're with us. Kind of attesting the undercover agent. We want to make sure none of you guys have any integrity.
Yeah. I can give you some background here. So all I did was reports published in June 2025 indicated that Saudi Arabian authorities executed journalist, I'm not going to get this name right, but I think it's Turki Al-Jazeera, sometime in 2024, approximately 6 years after his arrest. And what did I type in to get that information?
Saudi Comedy Festival.
I typed in Saudi Arabia kills another journalist.
Oh, okay. I think that's coming to Netflix soon.
Yeah. So, I mean, the information's easy to find.
Yeah. But what's great about this is, and I've often said this, a friend of mine actually, when I was criticizing Live Golf,
Yeah.
I was still working at the firm Simpson Thatcher and Bartlett, who then made a deal with Trump last year. So I was glad I wasn't there anymore.
Got to get paid.
Yeah, no, of course. You're a firm with $1 billion, like $1 billion in like fees.
Yeah.
But what are you gonna do? Not make a deal with the devil? Well, I should do a Devil's Advocate sketch, like a remake, but it's Trump.
Well, South Park's kind of doing that right now. Oh, you did a different thing because it's you doing Trump.
Wait, is it like
right now
the Pacino thing? No, he's just having sex with. They just replaced him like Saddam Hussein with Trump.
Yeah, okay.
No, I'm talking about literally. I'll do the Keanu Reeves, Mr. President Trump.
Yeah,
I want to be your attorney
That's
general.
Keanu?
Yeah, from Devil's Advocate. It's perfect, by the way. Have you ever seen the Devil's Advocate?
Yeah, but I can't remember the specific
He's trying to
Keanu.
act, and he's saying, "I'm from the South," and it's awful. It's awful.
It's a terrible movie.
No, but I actually grew to love it. I hated it the first time I saw it.
It's like a fun bad movie.
But no, but
But you think it's a good movie?
I thought it was terrible the first time. Not even fun terrible. I thought it was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
But I think first of all, Charlize Theron is great.
Yeah,
actually.
and naked.
Yeah. And respectfully.
Yes.
And Al Pacino, it's 90s Al Pacino, so he's in a zone where it's like, I'm controlled chaos Pacino.
Yes, I'm the devil.
Fred Trump is an absentee landlord. Department of Justice says, look, but don't touch. Touch, but don't taste. Rape, but don't pull out. It's a horrible system God came up with. So I'll just do the Devil's Advocate starring Trump.
Yeah.
And why did that come up?
Who knows? Just
my firm. But anyway, somebody at the firm. I remember when I was complaining about Live Golf, all these some of these golfers selling out. Because you're worth $50 million, but they'll make you worth $150 million. Okay, $50 million. Why is that not good enough for your integrity? You get to be filthy rich and have decency. And Tiger Woods was the perfect example. I think I had heard they might have offered him $1 billion because just the talent and the name and the everything.
And they got it.
No, but they have.
No, I'm saying they got the money.
And he said no.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is a guy who fucks waitresses at Perkins in his car.
Right.
While he's married to a beautiful woman. This is not a man who always takes the right stand.
Right.
But here, I'm sure he said, Tiger Woods impression, all I have is legacy right now. So I don't need another $1 billion.
Yeah. I'm
trying to preserve my legacy as a great of the game. There you go.
Yeah.
That's it. Like, you don't need it. So a friend of mine said, well, what if the Saudis, this is very prescient, what if the Saudis offered you like $2 million to come do a comedy show? I said, here's what I do. Reject it very loudly.
Yeah.
So that everybody knew that I didn't take it.
Yeah.
And that if I am a comic worth getting $2 million from Saudi Arabia, I'm worth $400,000 from somebody in America.
Right.
So like my thing was like, but I also don't necessarily want to condemn somebody who's like, this can change my life. And I don't mean change my life from, I'm Kevin Hart, and I have $950 million. This could make me a billionaire.
Right.
Not that. I have 3 roommates, and my mom is sick.
Yeah.
And the Saudis want to give me $800,000 to do comedy. I don't think anybody's going to really morally judge me too heavy for taking the money. But I'm going to morally judge a lot of people right now. Oh boy, JL really must be getting out of comedy because he's going after comedians, and which I've always done, Mike.
Yes, I know.
Okay, I know.
If you take money from the Saudi Arabians, I might blame some people in this room.
Oh.
I might make some judgments.
You're telling me they're making that kind of money? My comedy son speaks when he should listen. Right? There's Salazzo coming with heroin. Sonny, you don't talk to a man like that. That's what we always come back to The Godfather. That's what this is. Yeah. That's what this is. Salazzo coming to comedians, and me sitting there going like, I must reject your money. You murder journalists and beat women. Yeah. This is not my business. Right. But since our business doesn't conflict, I do comedy. Yeah. You abuse people and murder them.
It makes no difference to me how a man makes a living.
Next thing you know, I'm at the DC Comedy Loft and they're doing me like Khashoggi, you know, and Fredo's going, JL! And then Mike has to go to an Italian restaurant. No, a Middle Eastern restaurant.
Yeah, and avenge you.
And meet with the Saudi diplomats.
How's the veal?
I want guarantees that my podcast partner's life won't be threatened. How can I make guarantees? I am the hunted one.
Might I also add two different Pacino impressions?
I need to go to the bathroom. Yeah, no, young Pacino, old Pacino. Uh-huh. So I could just do this now.
I know.
For the whole fucking episode.
It's already been like 30 minutes, I think.
You know,
21.
When I'm at home, I get this killjoy shit.
I'm not killjoying anything. No, it's not.
No, because Laura will say these things like matter-of-factly, like, well, you have been talking for a while. And she doesn't mean it bad, but I'm like, are you not enjoying
But she's not producing you. She's on the couch with you.
Fair enough. Fair point. And then Mike has to go to Italy. He has to take a flight to Italy to avoid, and then you meet a 13-year-old named Apollonia and get married.
A beautiful girl. And then, unfortunately, she's beautiful, but she gets blown up.
Apollonia now! Anyway.
Yeah. On and on.
Dave Chappelle. Yeah. Not a guy who needs money.
No.
So, let me tell you something. I hate trans people too. Standing ovation from men only.
Yeah, right.
Where the bitches? I thought I could cheat on my wife. You know what they say? Different continent, different pussy. Kevin Hart just going for a chat. Like, there's
doing his act while he films a DraftKings commercial, on stage in Saudi Arabia.
And this DraftKings commercial is sponsored by Capital One. Jesus Christ, Kevin. Yeah. Like, say no. And I feel like working for the Saudis was a perfect, easy one to go. I don't take everything. Yeah. When murderers try to hire me, I pass.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, jail.
Feeding America's gambling addiction, totally okay. Right. But murder is where I draw the line.
Yeah.
What were you going to say?
No, some people choose to not do anything. Like they'll play the card where they're like, oh, I'm not really political. Like, I'm not political at all.
I never make a moral decision. So that's my thing.
Exactly.
If I ever made a moral decision, you could call me on it.
Exactly.
But I actually never do that.
Exactly.
So I'm just being consistent.
Right.
You know who's kind of not being consistent? Bill Burr.
Yeah,
He's going to Saudi Arabia.
It's a bit disappointing.
So what? So the fuck what? All right, I don't like Trump, so I can't go. You know, I can buy another fucking house for my wife, okay? You know who? You're so much better than me. Yeah, no, fuck that. Yes, I am. I wouldn't have said it before now, but yes, I am. Joe Coy is going. Here's one that I didn't expect. You weren't as surprised. Maniscalco.
Yeah, I wasn't, because he's kind of, Maniscalco is a little bit of like a stealth Kevin Hart. As much as I like Maniscalco better than Kevin Hart. I think there was a time where Kevin Hart was like a really good comedian and has now just become endorsement monster.
Yeah.
And I don't think Maniscalco is quite there.
Well, I don't see Maniscalco in any commercials. I've never seen him in a commercial. I've seen him in movies and I've seen him do stand-up.
I'm trying to think if I can think of a Maniscalco commercial off the top of my head. I feel like I've seen some, not nearly as bad as Kevin Hart.
I've never, but
I also think he's one of those guys that's like sort of, he doesn't really take any political.
But I think he is a Republican.
I think so too. But I think he's like kind of quiet about it.
But he did when for the LA mayor race, he was like hanging out with the guy who was not like I think a Trump Republican, but he was like endorsing and hanging out. Maybe he was friends, but he was.
Listen, he's an Italian dude from Chicago. It's like.
But my question is, won't some of his fans in New York, Long Island, New Jersey be like, Sebastian, why are you going to help the Saudis? You don't know 9/11?
I actually don't think. You know what it is, man? I really do think that
he lives in a $20 million house. Does he need the Saudi money?
I don't think he needs that. No, I don't think any of these people should have done this.
But it goes to my point, and this is what I've always said about comedians, and now we have it on full fucking display.
That they're all scumbags.
They're all scabs.
Yeah.
Oh, why don't we have a guild or a union?
Right.
You can't have workers' rights when everybody is an out for themselves, line-crossing scab.
Yeah.
And now you see the elites, the people with the most protection, the most generational wealth that any group of comedians has ever had. Yep. This is the richest group of comedians in history.
Yep.
And they're going and fucking going Allen Iverson over Jamal Khashoggi's bones and going, give me the fucking check. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
And these are the people, like, and credit. You know who I don't see on this list? I'm not going to attack everybody. If Louis C.K.'s there, I guess it's, I guess in a room full of men, if he jerks off, it's totally okay.
Right.
But Jim Gaffigan, Shane Gillis,
aren't
Nate
on that
Bargatze,
list.
not on the list. And I have to, I'm naming you 3 of the 10 like top grossing comedians in America.
Right, sure.
So you'd have to think it came their way.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Like Shane Gillis, without question.
He's like the biggest comedy star.
Nate Bargatze, most tickets sold and clean. By the way, Gaffigan and Bargatze clean. So you can telecast it to the women's room.
Yeah.
Safely. In the other place.
Do you know who is Tim on that list?
Tim Dillon?
Yeah.
Of course.
Oh, he is doing it? Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure.
Yeah, no, he's doing it. Andrew Schultz is doing it because he's a Bernie bro.
Yeah.
He's not a Trump guy. He's a Bernie bro Democrat who cares about like the common man and working issues and all that. It's just Trump spoke to him.
Yeah. That's
it. So he's going to Saudi Arabia because, his values are really aligned with Bernie Sanders.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll stone AOC in effigy or something. Chris Tucker is there. Maybe
really
check. Yeah,
Chris Tucker is.
Pete Davidson is going to be there,
of course. Yeah.
Hey, what's up, guys? Aziz Ansari is going to be there.
Yeah.
Hannibal Buress, which is, I don't know why I think it's strange, but I would always think the guy who took down Bill Cosby wouldn't go from. I took down a rapist.
Right.
I never say anything bad about murderers.
Yeah, right.
Mark Norman is going to be there. Sam Morrill.
Yeah.
And these are, I haven't named one person on this list. I think. I could be wrong. I don't want to I think everybody on this list is rich.
Or at least rich enough.
Everyone is in the 1% that I just named.
Of comedy, for sure.
In America.
You think? You think all of those guys?
1% basically means like $910,000. Maybe not a year. Maybe not a year. Some of these are not. But I don't think I've named
like Maniscalco, Burr.
Maniscalco. I mean, Maniscalco makes like $20 million a year.
Makes a ton of money.
Right. Chappelle has 9 figures in the bank. I'm certain of it. Kevin Hart is like trying to be a billionaire.
Right.
But even like a Tom Segura.
Yeah.
Louis C.K.
Segura's got a lot of money.
Norman and Morrill have to be millionaires. I'm not saying they make $1 million every year, but they are. But they might be. Like Norman and Joe List Patreon, I think pulls in hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. And
like
that's
Sam,
just that.
So Sam and Norman are at least probably closer to that middle tier, like earnings wise, I would think. Like I can't imagine.
I've broken down the Patreon numbers alone.
You think so?
That's not counting the theaters that they're always doing. And I just and don't get me wrong,
dude, Kevin Hart has no excuse other than
that's what I'm saying.
I've never made him, like you said.
Marilla and Norman, I know both of them. I use them. You're right in that. Yeah, they're not in the same conversation as some of these other names.
Yeah,
for sure. But it's still just like I don't get it. Like and spare me if any of them. They're better off just shutting the fuck up, like some of the golfers did with Liv. Because the golfers who tried to defend it sounded like complete fucking idiots.
Well, Mickelson was the big one, right? That Mickelson was just...
maybe a couple others.
Yeah.
Just shut up and take the fucking money. So so my advice as your attorney would be, say nothing. You took a blood money gig. Enjoy the blood money.
Yeah.
But because if some people, I could see Schultz stepping into this with the kind of...
Oh, yeah.
Yes. We're moving... How do we move a country like Saudi Arabia forward if we don't engage and bring them some of our culture? They have trillions of dollars. They want this to make their country seem like a modern power. And they want to build a modern tourism empire. Mm-hmm. One day the oil's going to be gone.
Yeah, right.
Okay? And they're putting this wealth to use. And I'm a big believer in forgiveness, but I haven't heard anybody even ask forgiveness for some of these journalist murderers.
Yeah.
Or 9/11. So that's just a warm up, but whatever. These guys it's a free country. I mean, not Saudi Arabia, obviously, but America's a free country. So I guess if they sign the contract here, they can do that.
Right. You cash the check in the States.
Yeah. But, I mean, so and this is just another, like, once again, the flip side of art.
Yeah.
On the one hand, nothing I do even makes it, like, I'm just looking for like a little sign of life, like proof of life.
Right.
Like podcast, if you got any new listeners, hold up today's newspaper. No, nothing.
Yeah.
Do good work. Like and I'm not talking about, I thought we'd get 1 million listens. Just anything.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, on the other end of the spectrum, where the money and the views and everything is flowing with great abundance, there is no end to the abundance they will pursue. Yeah. And that's where comedy is. That's comedy. On both ends. It's like a human centipede where decency is in the middle. And it's eating the ass of the algorithm on one hand and getting fucked by a millionaire comedian on the other. And on that, we're going to take a break. And we're back, Mike. Mike, did you get the same text from the Saudis that I got during the break?
They have everybody's information.
They asked me to meet them at the Saudi embassy. Do you think they want to offer me a spot in the festival?
Well,
should I tell Laura she's either going to be
ships
rich?
Come in.
I'm going to tell Laura either you're going to be rich or single.
Or both. Is there a life insurance policy?
My brother.
Ah, all right.
If this.
Yeah, I get it.
Blood is thicker than, woman who doesn't laugh at your jokes enough. But I want to know. I'm just. It's all jokes, folks. I love Laura.
Yeah. And you too, the Saudis.
Yeah, of course. I mean, even more so.
Yeah.
But I wanted to talk about, now we've got some distance. Everybody's gotten their hot takes off.
Yes.
That's where I come in with the sober, rational, calm take on Charlie Kirk, the conservative firebrand provocateur who was murdered, assassinated at Utah Valley State College or whatever by some, loner. And it is funny. It's not funny, but as I read more and more of this, it's like, I know the right wants to pin this on the left somehow. He seemed like a radicalized loner.
Uh-huh.
Like just to my right wing listeners, there's no like MSNBC, except for maybe the guy who shot Steve Scalise. He was like a Bernie guy. But there's no like just mainstream Democrat who's like, I'm so they'll tweet something or complain to their
friends. Not since the 60s.
Right. That's when we like make bombs and fucking go off.
Was it the Dead Weather?
Yeah. Dead Weatherman?
Or what? Oh, yeah.
The Weather Underground?
Weather Underground.
The Velvet Underground.
Yeah.
Lou Reed was radical.
We figured some amalgamation of words. Yeah.
Right. But now it's this need to sort of create an enemy. very Wicked, if you will. If I can bring up Jeff Goldblum's quote from Wicked Part 1. Can't wait for Part 2. Wicked was awesome.
Still haven't seen it, but
it's awesome.
Yeah, I've heard it's great. I haven't heard that thing. It really
was. I was like, I even got the commemorative popcorn.
You remember you telling me, yes.
And it was 2.5 hours of just like, this is a movie. This is a movie.
Yeah.
And Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande, like I said, Ariana Grande, you want to break up some families? You got the talent. I'm okay. I give you a pass now. I hated you before I saw Wicked.
Right.
And then I said, no.
She's good.
Just like Bill Burr, before he went to the Saudis, said, Arnold Schwarzenegger is a great man.
Yeah.
Let him cheat.
Yeah.
Look at all that he's done. That's how I feel about Ariana Grande. I'm like, that's a lot of talent. And Erivo is unbelievable.
Right.
But Jeff Goldblum says, if you want to bring people together, you just... I can't do a Jeff Goldblum. Matt Friend, are you here?
Yeah.
If you want to bring people together,
you about to do Bill Maher? Okay, so
Bill Maher as Jeff Goldblum in Wicked. Okay, so if you want to bring people together, you got to give them a good villain. So that's what the Republican philosophy is. So they have to create a boogeyman out of the left, which is just like, it's always some like like even Mangione was like kind of libertarian meets some Bernie bro stuff, but they need to be like the left. It's always like, I'm an isolated guy with some weird thoughts and a gun. And they need it, but they need it to be, it's coming from the left.
Right.
The whole left. We're demonizing the whole left because some guy who was a registered Republican, like the guy in Butler, registered Republican, doesn't seem cut from the MSNBC cloth.
Yeah.
So with the killing of Charlie Kirk, by the way, thanks Utah for, Danny Ainge has killed the Utah Jazz franchise. Not one arrest. Just saying. Not even an investigation. A proud franchise destroyed.
Yeah.
By Danny Ainge's evil.
Yeah.
Evil.
Yeah.
I don't use that word often. Evil is what we call it. If Lauri Markkanen does not play a full season with the Utah Jazz this year, I am done.
I'll believe that when I see it.
Yeah. And I'm quitting comedy also. So JT Miller, by the way, captain of the Rangers, announced today as captain of the Rangers.
I thought TJ Miller.
I know what you thought, and that's what I posted on Twitter.
There was a Saudi joke coming.
I posted a picture of
he
TJ Miller. Dad, I'll go to the Saudis. So Charlie Kirk gets murdered, and I felt my initial reaction, which some people on some other things know, was sadness. Not because I was a fan of Charlie Kirk, but I just felt like this is bad.
Well, sure, yeah.
But not even in the cop-out way of what's bad. I don't care about Charlie Kirk. It's bad for the country. No, I felt bad.
Yeah.
I felt bad that a guy whose views I don't like, who I think was like a bullshit debater. Okay, I don't think he was some. He was a social media, and I forget what comparison I made on a podcast earlier today, but he was not a debater. You know, this was not Christopher Hitchens getting up there and flexing his rhetoric and his intellectual rigor to defeat you. This was debate. To be fair, debate for social media.
Yeah.
You know?
So it wasn't like Gore Buckley.
No.
Yeah.
This was you're saying something. I don't care. What's a woman?
Right.
What's a woman?
Right.
We're talking about, we were talking about economics. Define a woman, and then I'll talk about it'd be like these like gotcha, and this is a good clip, and this is like, and but believing that his whole shtick was kind of half a ruse, and the views that he espoused were somewhere between deeply offensive and awful and edgelord clickbait. I still felt bad that he was, because at the end of the day, he was doing something constitutionally protected. No gray area there. He wasn't inciting people to riot. He wasn't, and he probably could have gotten away with that also. CEG, January 6th. But to see somebody shot during that is horrible. And like COVID, I'm going to compare this to COVID because the right's reaction to this, whenever they're afraid, they need to demonize somebody because they're not comfortable ever admitting they're afraid. I'm afraid of the world we're in because I am a tiny public figure.
Right.
But I I throw my weight around sometimes.
Yeah,
also.
yes.
Like if you're a grandmother in the Midwest talking shit about my comedy, I will layeth the smacketh down.
Right.
But it's a scary thing. And just like with COVID, I felt scared of COVID. So what I did was protect myself. I didn't look for a villain to then say, I don't want to protect myself because it will make me feel weak and it might be an admission to myself that I am vulnerable. So I will lash out. I will pick somebody, exaggerate their flaws or their problems, and use anger, which is often a cover for sadness.
Right.
And I feel like, and I never really speak to the right wing this way, I think you need therapy. And this is an extension of charity on my part because I have not been kind to the right wing.
Yeah.
And a lot of you will resist. And if you become violent or bad or take away people's rights, then you got to pay for that.
Yeah.
But I think the right wing needs therapy. And I know that's not going to happen. And it's a little humorous to say it that way, but it feels like that entire movement is some sort of impotent, frightened, insecure movement that will never just sit down and go, I think I'm afraid. I think I'm anxious. I think I'm nervous. You know, my job went away. I wake up nervous every day that I'm going to fuck up my job. You know, so I can appreciate it. I woke up nervous during COVID. I was like, I'm 41. I'm fat now. I'm in a risk group. I'm nervous. So I do the thing of, I don't buy a gun to shoot COVID. I take the vaccine and I put on a mask and I steer clear. I don't go nuts with it, but I take precautions. That's my response to fear. It seems the fear of others, of change, which are legitimate fears, it feels like the right wing's collective response. And they have a fucking Pied Piper of evil in Trump who will feed that because he's the biggest goddamn coward of them all. He is very happy to feed that monster. And I'm not excusing, trust me. You go to a hypnotist, you don't get hypnotized unless you're susceptible to it. There is a moral core that is rotting, if not fully rotten, on the right wing, in those 100 million people that are on that side. But I think there's still just a fear. And so Charlie Kirk, that is legitimate to be scared. That is a legitimate response, but it's not the response the right wing will allow itself to have, and the leaders of the right wing will not allow its people to have, because contemplation is the fucking enemy of whatever Vance and Trump want to do. Contemplation means time, thought, reflection. Fuck that.
Yeah.
We're at war.
You're right.
Right?
Yes.
Like, pause.
Retaliate.
Just react. Don't, that uncomfortable feeling you have, that's not fear.
Right.
That's the left trying to kill you.
Always be aggressive.
Right.
Yeah.
And there is something, they are using this right now. And I'm not gonna pretend right now I am a left of center guy. I think the Democrat policies are the right way, both politically and morally. But there are tens of millions of people that make up the right wing. And I, just like Heath Ledger in The Dark Knight said, I know a squealer when I see one, and that is a squealer. I know cowards when I see one.
Yeah.
And I see millions of them on the right wing. Now, I'm not using this to troll you, would-be assassin watching my podcast. I'm not doing this to troll you and say, you fucking chicken shit bitch.
Yeah.
That's what Trump will tell you. He'll say that because then you'll go, I'm not, what? I take MMA classes. I have a gun.
Yeah.
Don't you ever say that to me.
Right.
It's okay to be afraid when people are getting fucking shot.
Yeah.
Like how we've gotten to this point where now we have to immediately trigger a cold civil war because you're afraid. I'm afraid. I'm afraid of where we're headed as a country. I'm not going to pretend. Like, I don't feel any need to pretend. It's a normal reaction. People are getting shot. People are getting assaulted. People are being threatened. Trump's in charge, fucking up everything he possibly can. He's blowing up boats of Venezuelans just cause.
Yeah.
So
You don't love to see it.
It's okay to be afraid. I know right-wingers aren't watching this, but this is a message I think should be spread. We have nothing to fear but fear itself. FDR said that. We have fear and we have Trump, to be honest, because FDR wasn't trying to get you to be angry as a response to your fear. He was calling out fear to say, fear is the problem. Not saying, so go to your neighbor that you don't like and set their house on fire. That will make the fear go away. And so we have a leader who benefits from stoking this fear and for telling you not to face your fear, but to slather it in hate and violence and retaliation. And unfortunately, there hasn't been like a big retaliation or anything, but we also don't have a midterm election yet. So Trump is going to, it's like Manchurian Candidate times 70 million. He's going to want to activate the fear he has stoked and the anger he has stoked for when it benefits him. I'm not even kidding.
I know you're
right. In the words of Joe Biden, hey man, I'm not joking around here, man. Hey pal, this is serious stuff, man. Except he would use it when nobody was laughing.
Right.
It'd be like a eulogy, and it's like, we will miss him. I'm not kidding around. This is not a joke, man. This guy's dead, Jack. So I wanted to take a different approach to the Charlie Kirk story. Like I said, didn't like what he stood for, didn't like what he presented. I felt terrible that he was killed. And because it was both, I felt sad for him. I know some people are like, you don't have to mourn him. I don't give a fuck. You tell me I don't have to mourn. I know I don't have to mourn him. I'm a human being. And a man was killed. Not a man whose views I held, a man whose views I think sucked. But like, he was within the bounds of what we as a country have decided is permissible and legal. And they don't get a death sentence for fucking speech. And to then the compounding error and shame of this country in giving Donald Trump this power and evil scum like J.D. Vance. And I know people are, well, you're using that language. Yes, Donald Trump and J.D. Vance are bad people. Okay, term it however you want. Am I saying we need to take them out by? No. Vote. That's what the answer was. 2026, vote Republicans out of Congress. That's the answer. That's the peaceful democratic solution. And we have to overwhelm it because the power now resides with men of deep cruelty, no morals, and unquenchable ambition. For Christ's sakes, Vance and Trump should be doing the Saudi Comedy Festival. That's how deeply amoral and ambitious they are. That's right. I said it, Mike. That's how bad I think Trump is. He should be headlining. Chappelle, you're featuring. Trump's headlining the Saudi Comedy Festival now.
Coming to the stage now is a very thoughtful, funny man.
So this guy has lowered my taxes like you wouldn't believe. So give it up for my friend and a guy who I'm giving a 19th mulligan to, Donald J. Trump.
Saudi Arabia, you should give him a chance.
He doesn't like bitches either. So, how are you doing on time?
16.
Beautiful. So, I really, in the moment, decided to almost just take a different tact. I could have made lots of jokes, and we've gotten a couple of jokes in, but like the Charlie Kirk killing is another opportunity for this country to do something different, and I don't think it will. But these opportunities will get worse and worse, and the chance to correct will become less and less. And, Spencer Cox, of course, people are ripping him for being like, I was hoping it was an immigrant or somebody from outside of Utah. No, but he also said, or someone from outside of Utah. I'm going to defend that.
I know, but just what a dumb quote.
Of course. But this is, at some point, not every leader, shockingly, is the best ever.
Of course.
And to me, anybody who's trying, like he was probably saying, I'm sharing an honest thought. Like when Liam Neeson,
right,
during the racial reckoning, read the room wrong, but I think got too much hell for that because he was saying, when I was a young man, and my friend was raped by a black.
Yeah.
I wanted to beat the shit out of a black person. Now, he didn't just share that story for Don't Tell Comedy.
What a crazy. I know where. Here's the thing, though, Jay.
No.
Again, I know where these people are coming from. But like sometimes you have to know better than to say something so stupid.
But here's how I will defend that.
Yeah.
We were also in this moment.
Yeah.
And this is my critique of the left. This is my critique of the left. When they will say things like, you need to apologize. There needs to be a reckoning. We need to have a national conversation. People need to face their racist tendencies.
And then when they say something.
Liam Neeson, this was not last week. This was like
George 10 years ago.
Floyd is like 3 hours dead.
Yes.
And like Liam Neeson is like, I've got something to say.
That's what I'm saying. Like all the more reason to not say something so dumb.
No, but what I took from that,
I know where you're going, and
right.
I know you're going to say that if you want to have an open conversation, you have to let people be open and have the conversation.
And this is the truth. They don't want open conversations.
I know.
And Liam was like, we're not doing open conversations. Oh, I'm sorry. Can I get a mulligan? Chappelle, do you have one of those Trump mulligans to hand me? I will find you. I will be a nightmare for blacks like you. Men who rape my friends. But I will find you. And one day, the worst thing that will happen to me is admitting this, thinking I'm making progress. So, to me, the dilemma here is the left says they want conversations. They don't. Right. They want I think it's like Emmanuel Acho.
Yeah.
They want those kind of approved, safe, but not, this isn't safe conversation. This is incredibly safe.
Yeah.
That's what they want. They want to be told it's not a safe conversation and then have it be incredibly self-satisfying and safe.
Yes.
And Liam Neeson was like, I have some truth to share. And they were like, you're insane. And we think you're still racist, even though you're making a point of saying you've examined your conscience and your past problems, which, if we're being totally honest, is what people were saying they wanted people like that to do. He kind of did exactly what he was asked to do. And they're like, too much. Now we're more creeped out by you.
Yeah. Saying those words with that voice.
Oh,
just, ooh.
The Taken guy.
Yeah. I'm chill down my spine.
And then on the right, it's the never examine yourself.
Right.
And if you feel self-examination coming on, attack.
Yeah, right.
And that is my dime store psychology take on what's afflicting America. And trust me, guys, please don't be in my comments like I haven't been a strong left dude forever, basically, with the, no, I actually think what it is this, and you're totally wrong giving them a pass. I've made my case. I think the Charlie Kirk killing was terrible. I think it's going to be another missed opportunity for the country because the people, and this is heavily on the right for this one, the people in power to maybe help move us into a place of forgiveness, change, understanding are nowhere near the White House. The worst possible people are in charge for this. That's the truth. So when Spencer Cox said that, I think he was can't vouch for this, don't come at me. It felt like he was trying to be like, I'm going to be raw honest because we just had an assassination in my state. So I'm going to bare my soul here, a little ugliness. And he even said, I hate to admit, I don't like admitting this, but I got to admit, in like the dark recesses of my mind, I was like, please don't let it be just some Utah guy.
Yeah.
Isn't that, maybe you don't want a leader to say that, but isn't it better than they hate us, they want to kill you, they're going to destroy you, and we have to fight them first. But first, let me blow up this boat from Venezuela. That's a warning to you lefties. If you go fishing, you might die. So that's what I think Charlie Kirk, the opportunity he could stand for, and it will not.
Yeah.
And that's why I think we're just headed down a path that maybe can't be stopped. And I'm not talking about like some civil war, but I just mean the end of America as a power, the end of our moral framework and fabric, and potentially would just be, like a CVS or a Or like, oh, a new CVS opened. Very nice. And then you go in like 3 years later and it's like, this is a piece of shit.
What happened? Yeah.
What happened? That's where we're at. And right now, Trump is locking away the Sensodyne toothpaste and the Right Guard deodorant. So we'll be back with Comedy Talk. But I know you guys probably wanted a bunch. I mean, you got some hot takes, let's be honest. But they might have been looking for the Charlie Kirk is you tell him, jail. No, I didn't think that at the time. I thought he sucked. Clearly, his views, him as a person, fuck him when he was alive.
Right.
But his death is bigger than his views in what it means for this country.
Fuck him in life, but not in death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And Kash Patel will see him in Valhalla, apparently.
Right.
That fucking cross-eyed weirdo. But I just think it's easy to say, no, the right won't do it. I know, I'm acknowledging, I don't think this will change, and I don't think the people in power will ever do anything that doesn't completely benefit themselves and hurt the country. I'm just saying what I think this could have been. And that's why I'm not like gloating and like, I've made a joke or two, mostly at the expense of Trump, not Charlie Kirk. But like I said, not a particularly good dude, whether he was an edgelord milking the algorithm or a legitimate, horrible human being or somewhere in between. Nothing he was doing was good. But this is America. And just like party shouldn't when you vote, I want a Republican to vote for the Democrat because Trump is beyond the pale. Vote for a Republican when it's a normal Republican. When it's somebody who's going to destroy the country, vote Democrat because that's the only proper American choice. Just like when a guy gets murdered in cold blood, exercising the First Amendment completely within the bounds of our country, laws and traditions, it's a bad thing and it's a sad thing. So that's my take on Charlie Kirk, I guess. So we'll be back for a couple of minutes of Comedy Talk, everybody. And we're back, everybody. Mike, how was that second break?
Pretty good.
Okay, good to hear.
And not bad.
Frank, he perked up. He saw me getting excited in the second segment. He perked up, but he's back to sleeping. He'll be back next week strong, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll be talking about newspapers next week, by the way.
Oh, great.
Yeah. No, it's gonna be a good one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be teaching these fools some lessons. But here's the punchdown of the week. Not a traditional punchdown, but it involves this podcast. It was a comment on this podcast. So I'll read. I think I told you before air what it was. But this person wrote on last week's episode, I was really enjoying this video until you got to the point where you started dumping on one of my favorite comedians. I'm really disappointed in you. My response was, because this is regarding Josh Johnson, and I thought a fairly analytical critique in terms of calling it sort of long form algorithm hunting. You know, it didn't feel like a stand-up hour or special or even a set. It felt more like podcast masquerading as stand-up, but really, I think I called it content in comedy's clothing.
Yes.
And I think this person probably was more bothered. Maybe it hit harder because I really broke it down analytically and said fans are just getting self-serving, self-affirming work.
Yep.
This isn't comedy. This isn't challenging. This is just kind of an okay podcast. Not like this one. This one's great. And he said it. He liked it until I got to that part, which was like the last 6 minutes of like a 50-minute show.
Yeah.
And I just replied, well, if it makes you feel better, I was also really dumping on his fans.
Got him.
Short and sweet, like Sabrina Carpenter's last album.
Mm.
I'm a big Sabrina Carpenter fan.
Yeah, people like her.
Yeah. She's cute in a real pornographic way. She really walks that line between, can I put my varsity jacket on you and why are you in a triple gangbang? It's a nice like sort of line she walks in her super high heels because she's tiny. Anyway, special this week on Amazon Prime. Larry the Cable Guy decided, hey, Larry the Cable's Guy got a new one. I've never enjoyed his comedy. Why don't I watch this one? And it's called It's a Gift. Now, for a lot of it, I was pretty bored.
Yeah.
But what I found interesting about it, watching it, I laughed a couple times. I don't sit there with my arms folded. Even if there's a lull, I'm still open for the next joke because he'll do bits, but then he'll do jokes. And he had some very good jokes. But what I've noticed, and I remember an ex of mine, I think knew him in the past, and it's commonly known. She didn't reveal this to me, but she confirmed it. Like he had like a comedy persona. He was a comedian.
Yeah.
And then he's
like a normal guy.
Yeah, he was a normal act, his normal act. And then he came up with this character, this kind of ignorant, relatively friendly, harmless.
Isn't he from Boston?
I think he's from Florida.
Oh, okay.
I mean, he was saying he was from Florida in the special from the South. So I don't think it's like made up. Like I don't think it's made up to that extent.
Okay, got it.
But it is interesting because as the theme of my comedy talk kind of starts to become art versus content, you can almost see Larry the Cable Guy as an early adapter of not algorithms, but in the past we just called it audience.
Right.
So at least it's not as depraved as at least you're placating an audience of fans. You have found your fans and you're delivering to them what they want because they're giving you ticket sales and merch sales and laughter. So it's not nearly as nefarious as just going, the algorithm thinks this material is good. But there is something to it watching him because sometimes some jokes, I'd be like, that's a better joke than a lot of your other jokes. And you almost feel like, is this somebody who's sort of checking themselves, who's sort of going, man, just give them a C+ joke. Because, these people, they love that shit.
These fucking pigs.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the joke you want to see. Like he gets backstage, like rips off his fake stomach. He's got abs. He puts on glasses and a suit to leave. And he's like, these animals, I don't know how much more of their money I can take. Yeah. And then a fan comes in like, hey, what's up, buddy? Birthday there, get her done.
Right.
But that said, I don't want this to be a ripping on him. It was interesting because I related to some of the stuff he talked about, like being old and overweight.
Yeah.
And most of it was simple, but it's interesting to sort of look with an eye of like, I want to laugh, but if I'm not laughing that much, let me kind of analyze it a little bit. And I see a comic who just probably create a character and you don't get that wild success without at least tapping into a formula or figuring something out. But it felt kind of just to me like, you're probably better than this.
Yeah.
Like this isn't, you decided to sort of
punch the comedy clock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And some of the jokes, like I said, some jokes seep through where I'm like, that's a better joke than the rest of your act.
Yeah.
And, it got in by accident, I guess. You were supposed to take that good one out. But it's, a very white crowd, as you can imagine. And not always in this day and age, but I don't even know what his politics are, to be honest. And I say that as a good thing. Like, I'm sure he is, it's not germane to the special, but this is what happens when you're kind of watching something from multiple angles, like culturally, as a student of comedy, as a critic of art.
Yeah.
And I just thought to myself, I was like, this is like pre-algorithm stuff. This is like, I found an audience. I want a nice house. I wasn't getting there with my old shtick. I maybe had a little bit of success or not enough. And then I stumbled on this thing and people love it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go to work and I'm going to make friends and I'm going to have the 95% of the experience of a good comedian. Like the adoration, the wealth, the success, the albums, the specials, but it's not awful, but it's not something I would recommend. But it was more interesting for me to like laugh 4 or 5 times at it and go, that was a good one.
Yeah.
It's the same way I felt about Jeff Foxworthy. I wasn't a huge fan, but I would hear him tell some jokes sometimes. And you go, that's somebody who at least knows the craft of comedy.
Yeah.
Well, knows it very well.
What's he been up to?
I think he still works.
Yeah.
But
I haven't heard anything.
But I'm sure has a fucking 20-room mansion somewhere.
Right.
And with Larry the Cable Guy, I feel like you can't deny that, if you have an audience and you've created something, that is the biggest battle.
I'm gonna take a guess at how old Jeff Foxworthy is.
66.
Wow, 67.
Oh, okay.
I thought he was way older.
Well, Larry the Cable Guy said he was 62. Like he's 62.
Right. And
so
they're like in the ballpark,
yeah.
right? Wow.
Oh, by the way, Benadryl Brownie episode behind
Curb,
you right now. What an episode. Really great episode. Oh, Richard Lewis, he passed away.
He did, yeah.
He did, yeah.
Yeah, rest in peace.
All right. So Richard Lewis, Charlie Kirk.
Yeah.
Both of you are not with us anymore. But that's it. We're running out of time anyway. But that's I like watching comedy because even if I'm not laughing, I can find something else to just, because if you haven't noticed, I care about comedy. So sometimes I go into like comedy professor mode. You know, if I'm not, I'd much rather just be laughing and have never done comedy, but that ship has sailed, Mike.
Yeah.
22
in another
years
life.
ago. Yeah. In another life, I probably own a penthouse somewhere near here. And I'm just like, I'm going to the front row of Madison Square Garden to watch comedy. It's one of my favorite things to go with my Playboy playmate wife.
To be among the people.
I'm a man of the people. Okay, that's it, everybody. Check out the shows. Share the podcast. You won't, but okay. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you found it funny, thoughtful, whatever. Have a great week. We'll be back next week. See you next Thursday.